In the spirit of honestness for this video, I am wearing gaucho pants. Team Gaucho. I don't think gauchos have made a full return yet, so I don't wear these in public, but like, I'm all about it. I'm all about the Gaucho Club. Greetings internet, it's Katie, and yes, it is nighttime. It is very much nighttime when I'm recording this video, and I'm not even gonna complain about my appearance or the fact that I've had this face on since 7:30 this morning, but everything's great, we're doing fine. I'm like such a perfectionist, and my inner perfectionist is like screaming right now, but you know, this video is something that I've been meaning to post for a very long time. If you guys don't know, I asked for your assumptions about me on Instagram like a couple of months, actually like a month ago. I'm being dramatic, like a month ago, and nothing ever happened with that because, to be quite honest, the first time I sat down and filmed this video, I was a wreck. Like, being fully transparent, I could not handle the assumptions you guys made of me. And that's like a lot for me to admit, because I do pride myself in being open with you guys, and I share a lot on here, a lot more than I ever thought I would, but still it does kind of hurt sometimes to read things that are either really, really true, like painfully true, or really not true at all, and have to address them, which I didn't really like think this video concept was all that great when I first heard it, but then I watch the videos people make, you know, regarding their assumptions, and I honestly marvel at how honest people are and how honest people are willing to be. So here I am joining the Realness Club and filming the assumptions video. So let's do it. I'm scared. Okay. You feel pressure to live your life in New York perfectly and like Carrie Bradshaw or Gossip Girl. Partially true, partially false. I am a perfectionist. I mean, I'm not obsessed with being perfect per se, but I'm obsessed with just like small details. I like things to be in order. I hate being late. I don't feel like I want to live my life like Carrie Bradshaw, to be quite honest with you guys. I think a lot of Carrie Bradshaw's character is very flawed. I find a lot of problems with her. So anyone who compares me to Carrie Bradshaw, like I know it's from a good place, but I do kind of also feel a little bit like, oh, I don't really want to be her. If anything, I want to be Miranda. Like everyone says these days, like be more like a Miranda. Someone says you're rich. So I don't know if that's like more of like a personal me thing or my family. My family is definitely not rich. Both my parents, they're one of very many siblings, and their parents weren't very much of a help growing up for them. So in turn, you know, although they really did build good paths for themselves and they got, you know, to awesome places because of their hard work, they didn't spoil me, and I didn't feel like I always had money that I could just ask them for money all the time. I never did that. I also just had I have this weird thing in me that I guess I should share. I'm very, very bad at asking for help. Even when I really, really need it, I like don't want to, and so I never asked my parents for money. I feel like even if I was like really, really in a hard place, I wouldn't, because I'd be nervous too. Not that they don't love me, but I'm kind of obsessed with, you know, making everyone happy. That's also why I'm busting my butt to be here in New York. It's why I'm working 2 jobs, and I'm really, really afraid of not being able to support myself. That's like a fear that I have. And not that my parents are anything to blame for that. I just feel like I do have like a fear of not being able to support myself in any way, money or not. You don't like your body. I've grown to understand my body. Honestly speaking, I look in the mirror a lot of times and I feel kind of sick about how I look. I feel like that's just a normal, like everyone feels that way sometimes. It's nothing like really groundbreaking, but I feel like it's really, I mean, I'm gonna say it kind of broken record style. It's really tough to be a woman in this society and looking around at everyone else and comparing yourself. And I think it's just one of those things that I've done for so long that I'm kind of, it's nothing, you know, it's nothing new. It's not like at the forefront of my mind. Like I have many bigger insecurities than my body, but yes, I do wish I was thinner. I wish my legs weren't as chunky, and I wish I didn't have cellulite, and I'm kind of nervous for bikini season. You pretend so much that your life is a romantic movie in New York. Oh my god, you caught me! I do sometimes portray my life to be more, not romantic per se, but I guess I do romanticize the idea of living in New York. I think, guys, it's just, you gotta focus on the positive in your life, and sometimes, yes, as a creator, I think maybe I do it too much, but I know not everything in my life can be a beautiful, pretty story, you know, wrapped up in a bow, but that doesn't mean I can't make art. I mean, you gotta think about it, like, why do people spend millions and millions of dollars on making romantic comedies? Yes, it's not completely how life is, truly it's not, but it's kind of nice to watch content where you can kind of feel transported into a different place. You know, I watch movies to escape my life sometimes, and so I kind of do sometimes make my content like dream-like and kind of just pretty. And it's not to say that I don't have ugly moments. Like, yeah, I'm not perfect, but also like I am very privileged and I know that. And I'm starting to learn more and recognize my privilege more, especially living in New York where there are privileged people and underprivileged people. And so it's definitely been sobering for me to live here. You don't actually use all of the beauty products you post about, especially the drugstore ones. Not true. I think half my makeup bag is drugstore products, especially because I work at a drugstore brand. You practice your poses and facial expressions for photos in the mirror. No. Wait, what? You're desperate for a boyfriend. I could definitely see how people could see that. Like, I post about boys a lot, and I post my frustrations with boys a lot. I don't know. Honestly, I think the next assumption makes more sense. You have no problem being single, but you're scared you'll never find love. I think I'm just kind of sick of wasting my time. I think that's really the bottom line. Like, I've dated guys and I've wasted my time doing so, and I'm frustrated about it, and I think that's where the content comes from. It's not that I'm obsessed with finding love. I'm just kind of like pissed when I waste my time. Does that make sense? Like, okay. Your parents pay for your New York City apartment. Not true. I pay all of my rent. I pay every expense that I currently use in the city besides my health insurance, which I will start paying when I'm 26. So it's gonna be a scary day. You spend a lot of money on clothes and shoes. I think now that I've graduated college, I have bought a lot less clothes and shoes because now I'm like, if I don't have somewhere I need to wear this or like it's gonna be worn at work, I'm not gonna buy it. So I'm actually a lot smarter now. But I guess I do spend money on clothes and shoes, but I like clothes and shoes, so I don't really spend money on other things. You act the way you wish you were, you're not who you want to be, and you're trying to change that. I don't know if that's entirely true, but I don't think I am entirely who I want to be yet, but that's the beauty of life, you know, we're always improving, so I don't think I act the way I wish I was. I think I like still don't really know what I want to be. I think that's the problem. You see the best in people. That's true. It's kind of to a fault, I think. I trust people too much or too quickly, and I kind of get burned because of that, to be honest. I think that's a big problem, and I've gotten to be a lot pickier about who I spend my time with and what I do with them. Sorry, my camera died. Classic. I think I've actually, even in the past, surrounded myself with the wrong people because I was just so obsessed with the idea that they could be a good person. They, like, play me, you know? Play me like a guitar, so yeah, I think I do, but also to a fault. You partied a lot in college. Yes, that is also true. I think after, you know, not having the best time in high school, I wanted to compensate for that and all the things that I missed out on, and that definitely made me sad sometimes. It definitely was something I regret a little bit. Maybe not the whole idea of partying, but some certain parties I probably should have stayed home, let's just say that. I do thrive in groups though, so I think the partying I did in college was pretty fine for me. Like, it was manageable. I went out, and then I also, you know, excelled in school, and I had a business, and it was all just kind of a balancing game. You get attached to guys too easily. I have ended probably 90% of my relationships with guys, and that's like not me sitting here trying to be all like cool, like, oh, I ended all my relationships, whatever. It's because I'm just kind of still trying to figure out myself, and I think I always think that I'm ready for a relationship and I'm not. So yeah, I've discussed this in podcasts in the past, but I just think that sometimes part of me, like one version of me, thinks that I'm ready and thinks that I want a relationship, and then the other part of me comes out later on and is like, wait a second, like this isn't good for us, you know? So I don't think I get attached too easily. I think the issue is I get attached to an idea until I realize that it's not something I actually want. So you really care about what men think of you physically. I disagree with that. I actually care a lot more about what girls think of my body than guys. I hate using the word fat, but I've considered myself as being the fat friend. I'm definitely, like, I'm not built like my friends. I'm not like petite and really thin, and I haven't worn below a size 6 in jeans. I'm definitely not like the thinnest of my friends, and it has kind of rubbed me the wrong way in the past, but I definitely don't dress for guys. I definitely dress for girls, and I'm worried that I don't look like thin enough. You low-key smoke weed. No judgment here, girl. Full honesty, I don't smoke weed. I actually hate it. No judgment with any of my friends or anybody else, of course, but it's just not for me, so I don't. You cope with your anxiety by keeping yourself busy all the time. I do keep myself busy, but a lot of times it's busy with things that might not be as stressful. Like, yes, I'm very stressed sometimes, but I also kind of fill my day with like activities and things to keep myself busy, so I'm not just like laying in bed like dwelling over everything that's wrong, which is kind of a bad thing sometimes. Sometimes it drives me to kind of not think about things when I should be considering and like thinking about why they bother me and things like that, but I also just, I don't know, I do make myself busy to not deal with problems. You're scared you won't find love, so you're a workaholic. You find it hard to take your own advice. Yes and no. I think, you know, when I give advice and you guys say that it really helps you in a way, I'm kind of like, oh, maybe I should also implement that in my daily life. But I'm definitely the type of person that knows what's good for me and I choose what's not good for me. Sometimes you're kind of a hoe, a cute independent hoe, the kind I aspire to be. That's funny, it's making me laugh on the inside, but I don't think I'm a hoe. You hooked up with a lot of guys in college so you felt accepted. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I did hook up with some guys just to like, to tell my friends. That was more of a sophomore year thing. I kind of went, like I was just not with it sophomore year. I think I made a lot of mistakes sophomore year, but I definitely mellowed out after that. I think the biggest problem was, like I mentioned, I didn't really have a social life in high school, so I kind of went on like a bender of just like crazy experiences, and I definitely mellowed out after that. But I'm not gonna lie, it's a fully transparent video, so. NYC is harder than you make it look. I think when you move to New York, you have to grow up really fast, you know? You have to kind of face the harsh reality that, like, you know, this is life, like, not sugar-coated. There is nothing sugar-coated about New York. I mean, it's definitely a place with a lot of history, and I love living here knowing that, like, other greats have lived here, and it is a romanticized idea that I think about, and it's what brought me here, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that and thinking about that, but it definitely is a place where I've had to really like get my ass in gear, and I feel like I need to be busy all the time. I feel like I need to be doing something really monumental all the time because it feels like everyone else is like 10 steps ahead. I love you, but you try so hard to come off as you don't care what others think, but you really care. I don't think, well, I try not to come off like that because I do really care about what people think. And I don't think that's something that you can really fix overnight, and it's something I've been honestly trying to kick from my daily life for like 8 years. Yeah, I'm not perfect, guys. I've never claimed to be. Like, I've never claimed to be the person that doesn't let things get to me. Like, I do get beaten down, but that is what pushes me to really know myself inside and out, because if you know yourself inside and out, you know, you won't let things get to you because you already know the things that they try to pick apart. You know, if you already know this thing about yourself, this thing that bothers you, or this way you are, you know, other people can't use it against you because you're like, okay, tell me something I don't know. You love New York, but you don't see yourself growing old there. Old? How old are we talking? I'm definitely not married to the idea of staying here forever. I'm also not even married to the idea of staying here for the foreseeable future. I think if I ever get to the point where I'm unhappy here, I will move, no questions about it. I don't know where, but I'm definitely like one of those people whose mind wanders to other places. Like, I think I very well could end up somewhere else. I'm not like married to the idea of being here, but I definitely do think New York is a great starting point for any person because you start to realize very quickly, you know, whether or not the city life is for you. So, you know, sometimes you gotta like throw yourself into a situation and just see how you react, kind of as like a test and learn. You will choose a vintage name for your future baby. I love the name Rosemary for a girl, and I do also kind of want to name my son my middle name Graham. I think it's a great guy name. My mom's maiden name was Graham, and so she gave it to me as my middle name, and I love the name Graham, so that'd be a good boy name, or Rose, Rosemary, Rosie, something like that for a girl. Those are like my two names right now, but it's obviously going to completely change like by the time I actually, you know, get to that point in my life. But you're not as religious as you used to be. This is a tough question I wanted to avoid, but I used to be very, very into promoting my religion and all things Christianity online. I was very vocal about it. I definitely believe the same things I used to. I just think I've kind of just grown away from religion, and I've gotten just a dose of reality, and I feel like it's gotten a lot harder for me to believe. I'm a little bit watered down in my faith, that is true. Yeah, so I'm still a Christian. I don't practice as much as I used to. You're a really wise person, but delve too deep into concepts instead of just letting it be. That is very true. I think sometimes a lot of times I overthink things, but I also do think that, you know, being on the internet where people are constantly commenting on everything I do, a lot of times in a positive way, you know, asking me questions, asking me why, the why to everything that I do. like I said, a lot of times it's positive. I feel like sometimes I do kind of overthink things because, you know, even one thing that I say that I just am like, people analyze it in a million other ways, and I'm like, wait a second, like, am I insecure? Like, am I? Like, do I do this because blah, blah, blah? So I think I can't really help it, but also I am I'm very introspective to a fault sometimes. And I think sometimes I do need to let things be, but also if I did let it go, you guys would be like, why'd you let it go? So yeah, I do care a lot about what you guys think and what you guys, you know, want me to explore within myself. So I think a lot of the things that I do end up diving really deep into are things that I either just am obsessed with knowing the answer to, for you guys a lot of the times. You don't know where you see yourself in 5 years, you are still figuring out who you want to be. Yeah, true. I absolutely hate the 5-year question. Like at work the other day, they were like, oh, you know, just start to map out your 5-year plan, and I was like, another 5-year plan? Like 4-year plans in college were like the death of me because I switched my major. You know, I wasn't sure if I really wanted to do all the things I was applying for post-grad. Luckily, I know what kind of field I want to be in like a creative field. I love graphic design, I love digital stuff, but I also have a weird like feeling, inkling that what I eventually will be doing doesn't quite exist yet. I mean, Instagram wasn't even a big thing like a couple years ago, so I'm just kind of okay with the idea. Well, I'm not okay with it, but I have to be okay with it. You know, the idea that my future hasn't materialized yet. Like, I don't really know. But I think part of growing up is being okay with the unknown, or at least trying to get more comfortable with it. You're the friend everyone comes to, but no one checks up on you to see if you're okay. I definitely am the friend that a lot of my friends come to with their, you know, their problems, and I am a good listener, but I don't know, I think my friends do know when I'm struggling, but a lot of times I think I say I'm fine and they don't press, and I wish they would. You don't actually like your job. That is not true. I actually do like my job, and to be quite honest, I wasn't sure if I was going to like my job. I was actually like kind of hoping I wouldn't like my job because then it would make it a lot easier for me to quit and like do YouTube full-time and do blogging full-time, but I really do love my job. I feel very appreciated there, and I feel like the work I'm doing is really impacting a business, which is so cool, and I'm like geeking out over it right now. But I definitely didn't think, actually I don't know what I thought, but I'm pleasantly surprised that I do actually really love it, and I get excited to go to work. Who knows how long that'll last, but I do love it. So yeah guys, I addressed a lot of truths in this video. My radiator has kicked in, so I do have to conclude tonight's video, but I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope I answered enough of the assumptions. I hope you guys liked this video and maybe learned something about me that you didn't know, or that maybe I don't let on. So yeah, that's it for tonight's video. I'll see you guys all in my next one. Bye!